Let me see. Uh, God, so we back at it. She can't get in. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why Cola can't.
What?
I'm gonna blame Instagram.
Man, it said that you asked me to join. I pressed the button and then it made me say I wanted to request, but it said I'm a moderator, so I hope today I can read
Yeah,
the
I just saw
question.
that. I saw that now. I didn't see
Yeah.
that before. Now I just tap you and like it gives you that option. So
But it looked like when I look in the question bubble, it's still telling me that I have to ask a question. So I guess we'll have to tell people to put it on the screen tonight and I'll watch it
no,
and
it should. You a moderator now. It should be
yeah, that's
good.
what I thought, but Instagram be tripping.
Let me see. I don't know.
Hey everybody.
We'll roll with it. We'll figure it out.
Right. It be tripping on the question is so makes it so much easier when I can look at the bottom, but yeah, I mean it is what it
So
is.
we'll figure it out.
We'll
All
do
right,
it
go.
as we
Go.
go. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our monthly did we do last month or we did like 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago. Sometimes
Okay, so
it's
we
more than
doing some bonus because it's Thanksgiving, so we being thankful to our viewers and thankful to the people that followed the journey, and hopefully you're thankful for me sharing the journey because I hope to have helped multiple people with a suffering and get the relief that they deserve. So tonight, you definitely have options to submit your question. We're going to try the question box. If it's not working, we may have to switch to the screen or Doc P going to have to read, but make sure he reads so people hear the question and not to himself.
got it.
and and then we can somebody said they sent you a message with pictures. You can also request to join. We're hoping that this week they let it back because for whatever reason last time we went live, we had trouble accepting other viewers. So
Hopefully it's better.
hopefully it's better today. So somebody be brave and join so you get a free consultation. And then last but not least, of course, I have people that throughout the journey send me questions directly. And I just keep a running list. And then sometimes I do take down from previous lives what people said. So, all right. So we ready to get started. So I'll start.
Whoever said they sent me stuff in my inbox. Now, mind you, I haven't seen it. I checked all the inboxes, but if you send me a whole history and a laundry list of stuff, it's gonna be difficult. I got a trillion things happening, but if it's quick, I'll try to answer quick questions. But if I look at a whole bunch of stuff,
It's
you
time
might
to book a consultation.
might have to book a conversation. But we'll see. If it's something quick, I'm not like that. Like I'm not. If you got a quick question for me, like I'll definitely try to answer it. But I will take a look at my DMs. I haven't done that in a couple hours, so I'll look. But go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to start off with a submitted question. And you would think I had it open, but of course.
So yeah, so I'll look. It's simple. I'll look. Give me a little bit. I'll look.
Okay. What should you have prepared when booking a consultation? So yeah, we might as well talk about that since kind of kicked it off.
Absolutely. So, all right. So let me explain it because I get a whole bunch of things with people asking a lot of questions. So let me answer the most common questions. All right. So as far as what you need to book a consultation, I don't need a lot. I definitely need an ultrasound. I need any other pertinent labs, like if you had a biopsy or any other pertinent part of your history. If you're not very knowledgeable about your history, if you could jot that stuff down for me so we can have a very complete and thorough conversation about everything in your history because everything matters. But for me personally, to send me, I need the ultrasound. And if I need more labs, then I'll ask you. But more than anything, ultrasound, MRI, I need those for sure for consultation. Other questions like, oh, well, like, does insurance cover it? Like, does insurance cover consultations? This is the thing, okay? For in person, like if you come see me, if you're in Chicago, or just like I had a person literally fly up to come to see me or whatever, like just to see me, I'm perfectly fine. Like your insurance is going to cover any in-person visits, any surgery, insurance. Perfect. Like you can use it. Even if you're out of state. If you come up to Chicago to come see me, use your insurance. For my website and consultations that are online, I am spending my time, my personal time talking. I just literally talk to 3 people for over an hour on my own time, whatever, going through their stuff. I don't know if they're gonna need surgery or not. Sometimes people just want my opinion, and we can talk about, what options you have and talk about, what my thoughts are. And sometimes you may not be able to come to me for surgery, but at least have enough information for wherever you're at to be able to find the right surgeon for you in your area that's covered with your insurance. There are all types of different scenarios. I got people that calling me out of the country, in the country, all different states. Those are out of pocket. I don't play with insurance. Like for me personally, insurance is like this, and I'll put this I'll tell you, all of you guys. I don't care what you do. Cola's, you're a hairdresser, like, so you do you do people's hair, right? So your price is your price. When they come in, you be like, hey, it's $400 for me to sit down here and just deal with your hair and stuff all the time, whatever. That is what it is. If you're a lawyer or you're an engineer or you're a mechanic, whatever, that is the price. Imagine if you had whatever job you had, you did whatever it is, and then they say, well, hey, that's cool, but so many people come to you, then we're going to pay you like 20% of what it is. That's what insurances do, right? So whatever it is, the hospital charges or whatever it is, insurance is legit because they know that they're supplying the patient and they have so many patients in their network, they pay a fraction of the cost. Same way with surgeries. I don't get really paid a lot for your surgeries, believe it or not. Female surgeries are the lowest on the totem pole, right? And that's misogyny, it's racism, it's all type of stuff, a reason of why. But a man can go get his prostate removed, and that's tens of thousands of dollars. Getting your uterus or fibroids removed are pennies on a dollar, like literally a couple $1,000s. That's it, right? And insurances really don't even want to pay that. So when it comes to my personal time, whatever, and I'm talking to you for a whole hour, what have you, that's for me, period. And that just is what it is. It ain't like, oh, well, I got this insurance, whatever. If you need surgery, absolutely, 1,000,000,000%. You're gonna, like, if we deem that you need, at me and you, say, hey, this is a surgery, whatever, I'm going to set you up with office. We're going to get your insurance involved, all of that stuff. So in-person surgery, all that stuff is covered. But for the virtual consultations, sorry, that's out of pocket. That just is what it is. But I hope that helps and answers questions for everybody, because it's a lot of questions about that. Oh, I don't really need a consultation. I need surgery. You have to have a consultation. Like, whether it's in person or it's virtual, you have to. I have to literally go through all your history, ask you a ton of different questions, list all of your options, talk about the risk versus benefits of things, answer everything that you have. Like, it's a long process. Literally, I spent half of my day on virtual consultations or whatever, and it's fine. I'm helping people, but at the same token, like, it is what it is. So hope that helps everybody. Got any questions about that? Put it out there. Got
it. Absolutely. And you don't have to apologize for the price. It's the price.
And y'all you can actually blame the trolling ass people that, when I went through my whole social media bash Dr. Johnson, he ain't shit and all this other stuff, whatever. I said, okay, so since I am the pariah, then I'm helping all of these people or what have you. And I just try to, been doing it. Let me start thinking about myself, right? So at that point, it is what it is. People have feelings. People, I don't get mad. I don't get, it was what it was. But at the same token, it showed me that at the end of the day, not too many, people are going to do what they do to you or whatever. You can't continue to just sacrifice yourself and not look out for yourself. So yeah, so blame the haters too. Price is
sometimes you just have to make sure that you're not pouring in more energy than you receive back.
Absolutely. And that's kind of how
it doesn't mean that you're not a giving person. It doesn't mean that you're not into philanthropy. You got your whole organization. It just means that sometimes, unfortunately, because you care so much, you give more than the energy that gets returned. And then that's when it becomes one-sided, and nobody deserves that, for mental health, for a whole bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, people just don't deserve that.
Yeah. And that's kind of, honestly, that's kind of how I felt at a certain point. I'm good now, but you know, at a certain point, I'm just like, yo, I sacrifice, I do all this stuff, whatever, to have people like question who I am and what I'm doing or whatever. It made me feel a little way, but you know, feelings for
Well, I keep telling you, when you in the service industry, even when you got a MD, FACOG, and all that, people be like, "Oh, he a service provider,"
right.
And trust me,
It took a lot of sacrifice in the trenches to get all them letters behind the name. Trust me.
Absolutely.
I sacrificed half my life for doing it. So,
but
you know,
people will
it is
put you in that category like, "Oh, you working for me," and then no respect level,
yeah,
it shrinks big time.
Okay.
I've been like you said, well, I'm in corporate America too, but I do locks, and I've been doing it over 10 years. Do you know my daughter will go on TikTok like, well, TikTok said, I'd be like, no, I just been doing this since college. You're right. Go with what TikTok said. Don't go by what I say. Mm-hmm. And she always trying to educate me from what she learned on TikTok about her hair.
Oh, I get that all the time.
Yeah. So I'd be like, even it be your own kids sometimes. They won't even listen.
It'd be like people call me like, you want to argue with me? You want to like, are you calling to ask me or you gonna tell me? Like, I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll be like, all right, man. I read on Google. Okay, well, go ahead, talk to Google, talk to your cousin. Okay, that's cool. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
I'm telling you, it never ends. Okay. The next question. What age should I start considering tubal ligation to replace the risk of hormonal types of birth control?
And what? Oh, that's that's one of the best questions I have heard. Actually,
you're right.
That is awesome. Yeah, okay. If I understood that right.
Basically, what they're saying is, if they continue to use hormonal types of birth control, what age do you start to need to make a decision? Like, maybe I should just get my tubes. That's how they wrote it. I tried to rewrite it clearer.
The earlier you make that decision, the better, the less the risk, right? Because birth control pills are not Tic Tacs. Like, people hand them out like they're Tic Tacs, but they're not, right? They do have risk, and those risks do increase the older that you get. So I got patients in their, you know, early mid 40s that have been on birth control pills, and their doctors keep giving it to them, but they're not talking about that. You know, there are risks. There's especially risk if you have hypertension and you're on estrogen containing birth control pills. There are risks for blood clotting. That though the risks are still very small, there are risks. And I've seen people have strokes, have heart attacks, be on estrogen, like do things because of estrogen. And it's like, if you really are going to kind of prolong your fertility or what have you, once you get past, you know, I would say 35, you should start at least thinking about a progestin only birth control. That's like the longer acting birth controls, Nexplanons, Depots, Mirenas. Those are, you know, progestin only. You can do for people that are in their 40s that are like, hey, I really want to have a baby. It's really not the time. Just right these few months. If you're doing it for short periods of time, you know, 3 to 6 months or less, then I say birth control's okay. But if you're like, hey, if God bless me, you know, it may happen, you know, whenever it happens. If you on that note and you don't have your man in place, all those things in place, like, start really considering progestin only birth control. And if you know that you're not having children anymore, what have you, absolutely strongly recommend doing tubal sterilization and just get off birth control all the way. So there is no particular date or age where you say, oh, you cannot, but just realize that the risk increase. So just continue to ask yourself, like, what am I doing? You know, and if you're really done having children, it doesn't even matter what time, where age you are at, like, you know, do something. You could do something that's permanent. It's always an option. I hope that answers a question. Other couple quick questions. There's certain insurance providers that you do not accept. So for me, the reason I'm at my hospital that I'm at, just real quick, not to preach, but I am at a nonprofit hospital that cannot turn down anybody for care, right? So anybody that comes in, public aid, even if you're uninsured and you live in Illinois, like they make it affordable, so even you can have surgeries from whatever. And I make myself available to do that on purpose. That is what I choose to do. So with that being said, I'm not at a Northwestern. I'm not at a University of Chicago. I'm not at these places where it's like, oh, 5-star ratings or what have you. But I'm at a place where I am accessible to everybody on purpose, because I don't want to tell anybody that they can't see me, or that I can't help them. With that being said, that's in state. Everybody out of state, your insurance has to be a PPO. PPO allows you to travel to other states, and be covered from other state from providers in other states. HMO plans keep you kind of grounded. They keep you within a network, so that they can keep the costs down, right? So it's not me or the hospital not accepting it. It's your insurance really saying they will cover you or not. So that's really the question. So for everybody to ask, like, what insurance do you accept? I accept everything. My hospital accepts everything. It's the question of, does your insurance cover you to be either out of state? If you're in Chicago or you're in the Chicagoland area, or if you're in Illinois, there's not insurance that you have that we typically will not take. But if you're outside of Illinois, it's mostly PPO insurance. And again, it's because what your insurance will cover. It's not so much what we will take per se. To my person in the UK, I am working on a plan to make this thing global, because I'm getting all types of calls from the UK, from South Africa, from the Caribbeans, of women that really desperately needs help. And I want to so bad to get you guys here. Unfortunately, we are in westernized medicine where we just, it's all about capitalism here. And so it's hard for me to convince even my hospital to make it affordable enough for someone coming in from another country to have surgery. But I'm working on my own thing to be able to do it. So, I don't know how soon it's going to be, but I'm working hard to make it so that I can operate on whoever I want to, and to make those options available for my women all over the world, not just in the United States. And do I ever do e-shadowing? Yes, send me something on that. I don't really know what e-shadowing is, but we'll talk about that. All right, keep going.
All right. Do you, was those questions out the box or on the
screen? Yeah, all on the screen. I don't have nothing in the box yet.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk for a second, Cole. Let me answer.
Okay. So this question is actually for me. Cola, how did you decide to pick Doc P? So actually I was able to, I did research. So when I say I did research, I basically asked for a referral from my family practice doctor. I actually talked to a group of women that one had already had fibroid surgery, one was trying to get fibroid surgery, and the other one was still trying to navigate the insurance process. So they gave me a referral as well. And then I kind of found Doc P, half referral, half social media. So I did know someone that went to him for a completely different issue. It wasn't related to fibroids at all, but they did say that follow his page because he talks a lot about fibroids, so he may be able to help you too. So in the interviews, I definitely asked a lot of questions, some my own, definitely explored different options. One difference I will say that probably sold the deal, I shouldn't say sold the deal, or passed the interview when I got to Doc P was when I asked him the hard stuff, he didn't say a lot of big words that will make you confused. So you're like, oh, that's over my head. So I'm just gonna, go with whatever they're talking about because they're a doctor and you're not. He actually took the time to draw pictures and try to make it clearer for me. Or if he didn't know, he said, let me think about that, and I have to, that's my assignment, And then last but not least, I think another thing that was different from the other doctors that I interviewed is that he made a point about the reason that the procedures even exist is because our ancestors were experimented on. And if anybody deserved to benefit from that, it would be someone like me, a person of color. And that definitely touched me differently than some of the other doctors that I interviewed. So not saying that they don't think like that, but they didn't bring that point up in my visit. So it's like he tuned in on what would be important to me. And after 3 interviews, I selected Dr. Johnson. So that's my story. The question was, how did I pick you for surgery?
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Yeah, I need to hear that because they be asking questions. I'll be like, look, go ahead, ask patients. Like, ask, you don't have
Yeah,
to.
so I did interview 3 other surgeons. Definitely, all the surgeons definitely said I had to have surgery. Dr. Johnson probably was the only one that actually broke it down as far as what types of surgery, but all of them said surgery. So I knew surgery was my only option, regardless of how it was going to be done. He did say minimally invasive first. So that was definitely, especially if you're already scared, that definitely was more appealing. But I knew surgery was my only choice. Period. All right. And someone else in the comments said that you definitely don't rush the process and you do answer the good questions. So yes, I can definitely vouch for that. And he'll draw pictures if he have to.
And with that being said, I can't, like, I'm not one to. I make a point, which is not, again, going back to the insurance thing, going back to the hospital thing, or what have you. Just kind of pulling you guys behind the curtain. The whole point of like what they want, it's a business at the end of the day too. So like doctors have the stress of trying to see as many patients as possible, like in the amount of time. So when you're supposed to be 15 minutes, it's supposed to be 15 minutes so you can get to the next patient, right? Because a 15-minute visit to this 45-minute visit means that there's going to be less patients at the end of the day. Me personally, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that. Like I made a point of not letting anybody leave me that still has questions or concerns. So I'm gonna ask you 2-3 times, do you have any more questions or concerns or whatever? Because I want to make sure that everything that you have is addressed when you come and talk to me. Now, with that being said, when you come see me, keep that in mind because mostly everybody comes is nervous, scared, has a bunch of questions, got Google reviews, Auntie Mama and them told them this, whatever. They got a whole list full of questions. But everybody wants all of their stuff addressed. I have to do that. So if you're there and you waiting on your turn, realize that I'm in there talking to somebody else that's nervous and scared, and they're taking me past my 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever's on that paper. And so I'm giving them that, and I'm going to give everybody that. So if you have to wait on me for whatever reason, be considerate that, it's somebody else it's time that I'm giving to them, and I'm going to give you the same amount of time. So sometimes my clinics, like, people wait, like, unfortunately, like, you wait. But when I get to you, I'm going to make sure that I answer every question that you have. The alternative would be, hey, that's 15 minutes. You through? Okay, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that. I'm not built that way. I can't do that. So just be cognizant of time and how I spend that with each person.
Yeah. And if you're making a big decision about who gonna have you sleep, I think the 15 minutes is not gonna be enough
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to get that level of comfort or whatever. So if you get what you say, get your purse. If they making you feel like an assembly line, get your purse.
So what if the embolization was unsuccessful? What is the next option? I'm assuming you're talking about uterine artery embolization, and I don't recommend that. And if embolization was the route, then we need to have a conversation on what's the goal and it's a lot of questions I have from that. So when you do have a embolization, it kind of puts you it takes some of the options off the board, but it comes a question of what's the goal, and that's what I ask everybody. Like when you sit down and talk to me, what are we trying to accomplish? What's our goal? And every woman comes in, I don't want no hysterectomy. That's fine. What's our goal? You know, I'm not in there in the business of just taking you out, taking your uterus out, or what have you. That's not. I feel that everybody should have the right to preserve whatever they want to. You want your uterus, that's fine, no problem. But why? What is your goal with your uterus? If you have extensive fibroid disease and you say, hey, I just want to remove it because I want to have a baby, guess what? That's a goal. I want to do something with that. If you say, hey, I just want them gone, I'm having bleeding, I'm having pain, I'm having all of these things or whatever, but I still just want my uterus. What is our goal? So yeah, so that's an important question, but we could talk about that more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If the question that I just saw says, do I need to have an ultrasound and MRI done before my first visit? And I guess if it's in person.
Yes. I would so, and that was like, well, what if I don't have a doctor? Then that's a different story. So, you know, either you know, just reach out if you are at a point where you can come and see me, then you can, you know, you can call the office and we can schedule you or get an ultrasound or get that order for you. If you're out of town or you're out of state or what have you, and you don't have an ultrasound or what have you, you know, there's ways to get around that. I mean, you can get an ultrasound from anybody. You go to your primary care doctor. You can go to OBGYN. If they, you know, it's not to say they have to have surgery on you or whatever. They could just order you an ultrasound. Right? So you can get that beforehand. But it's just very helpful to have that. It doesn't say that I can't see you, but it says that we need to get that, whatever way we need to do to get that, so that we can have a very you know, efficient conversation about what your options are and what the plan is going to be.
Okay. Someone dropped in questions about endometriosis, but it's just general. So do you have a specific question about endometriosis? Can you please put that in the chat?
Yes, I do deal with endometriosis. So I guess that was another question of like, do you do anything other than fibroids? Absolutely. I just have a niche of dealing with fibroids, but I am a surgeon. So issues with ovaries, issues with endometriosis, pelvic pain, you know, pelvic organ prolapse, all of those things. I do deal with those things as well. I just don't talk about them as much as fibroids because fibroids are the problems that are impacting us the most, and it's the thing that people are most scared about, and it's what I have specifically honed in as a niche to do. So that is, you know, that's that. Somebody said,
Yeah. So
yeah,
when you
from Atlanta. So that's a good point. You know, changing insurance, and again, it's not a campaign to just say, hey, everybody come to me with surgery. Trust me, I'm good. I don't need 300 people coming just to me for surgery. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because women don't have the options, right? And I want to make myself available for those women that are in desperate need with advanced fibroid disease to have an option for surgery. If you don't have advanced fibroid disease, the chances are there are surgeons probably that can deal with the things that you're dealing with. But women that have issues where they went to multiple doctors and they told them things where they don't have options or whatever, that's why I'm here. And so for those women, you know, I understand insurance barriers are what they are, but I'll say it again. Use insurance to your benefit, right? Insurances make a lot of money off of us. And oftentimes you pay months and years without them having to pay anything, right? So with that, they make billions of dollars off us. So with that being said, if you know you are a person that needs surgery, have advanced fibroid disease, and need to come to see me, and you don't have a PPO insurance and you're out of state, all you do is wait till open enrollment. change your insurance plan to a higher PPO rate. Yes, you're going to pay more per month. You do that for the year, 6 months, or however long that term is. Come get your surgery and then switch it back. Is it going to cost you? Yeah, it is. It's going to cost you a couple $1,000s for the year. I'm not poo-pooing it, but if the couple $1,000s is what you need to pay, so you don't get butchered or gutted or all the other terms you all use, like, it's well worth it. Your life and your body and your uterus and your future fertility and all those things is worth it. You know, we pay for what we want. That's just an option for you to do what you do. And I get calls, but do you recommend, like, do you have anybody in my area? Like, do you have a lot of places? I don't, because there's not a lot of I just don't know a lot of surgeons that deal with advanced fibroid disease in the manner in which I dealt with them. I just literally had a friend of mine who's a device rep. He, sent me a picture, like, to me and one of my guys who was an OB as well, and it was like, it was crazy. It was an impressive ass fiber. It was like 19 pounds, which is up there with the amount the fibroids I remove. But the difference is they literally cut that woman from her privates to her chest, right, to remove this. So to me, that's not impressive. Anybody can do that, right? The problem with that is, yes, they removed it. I'm hoping that she does okay, but the pain and the issues that she's going to have for that damn thing to heal are going to be astronomical, right? She's going to have a lot of mental anguish and a lot of pain, increased risk of infection, a lot of different things that she's going to have to deal from a healing standpoint to deal with that healing from that surgery. So that's the difference. That is the difference in which I will never do that to someone, because I think about cosmetically how you're going to feel from a healing standpoint. I care about you after you get off the table. There's a lot of surgeons, we care about getting you through surgery, getting you through alive, making sure you're alive, doing the job. Most surgeons are not going to think about you in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 5 years, when you out with your, people who try to wear a bikini and you got an incision this damn big or whatever. That they're not thinking, but they don't care about that. I care about that, so that's why I will struggle with these little bitty ass incisions. Don't get it twisted. This shit is not easy, right? Taking freaking masses out like this through these little bitty ass incisions is some hard shit, right? I don't wish it on somebody. Sometimes I'll be asking myself, like, what the fuck? Like, man, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Like, we don't have to do this, bro. You're not getting any extra money to do this crazy shit. Like, but I am, the gift and the curse about my life is that I always have to do the best thing. I always have to do, like, the right thing. The thing that I know is right, I'll struggle and I'll sacrifice my time and sacrifice my sanity to do the right thing for somebody else. And that's just what I do. I don't need a pat on the back. I don't need, like, any extra awards or whatever. It's just what I do. Not to say I'm gonna do it forever, but that's what I do. That's the difference. So if you need that, holler at me. If not, and somebody can do it, God bless. I hope everybody gets the care that they deserve, no matter who does it. But okay.
Yeah.
Let me shut up.
No, that's a good point. And that's one of the reasons I'm here too. Is not just because I'm trying to sell anybody on .p or I'm trying to say become part of the PHAB. I feel that one of my reasons I got to advance was out of fear. So I want to educate more people to not let fear put you into advanced fibroid disease. And then now you're trying to crisis manage your health when you can start handling it earlier. And I definitely probably, did not have to get to that point. And then also for people that don't have access to adequate care, like I said, I was in Chicago, but people who don't have access, you will be educated in these sessions to ask better questions and know that you're not going to receive the adequate care. So you don't just pick the first person that said they will do something and end up butchered, and then you still have issues afterwards and stuff like that. So if I can, number one, get anybody the relief I have, that's a joy in itself. But also if we can send a message to not be so crisis reactive to our health and be way more proactive, because I let fear put me in a bad situation. So even though I'm smiling now and I'm living my best life, fear put me in a bad situation. So the laptop references,
That was
you
her.
think
Yeah.
it's funny. I already know what he's trying to say, but fear put me in that position, and suffering it wasn't necessary because I had access. I just was fearful. And I don't want people to be fearful, especially when it comes to their health. Like, I didn't even understand that anemia could kill me and stuff like that. Like, I got more educated along the way that I was doing myself a disservice.
You're a whole different person. Like the first, y'all can scroll back and look at the first visit. Like her whole aura, it just changed. She was like,
Definitely.
"Oh Lord," the whole aura has changed on her face. Like y'all can scroll back and y'all can see the first visit, like 2 years.
Yes.
Like
Yes. It is a difference. I'm telling you, every time I look at pictures, I'm like, I look completely different. I'm 2 years. It's just a different feeling. And a lot of people I know, like you said, they're afraid of the hysterectomy myth. I suffered for a long time with bad periods. So to not have a period because I was done having children. So let me put that out there. I was done having children. I already had a tubal ligation, so I was done having children. So that was my end goal, was to just get rid of the fibroids. I didn't have any goals for my uterus. So to not have a period after all the years I had terrible ones, I think I had enough terrible ones to last me a lifetime. So it's just a whole different feeling. So don't be trying to get a hysterectomy just so you won't have a period. But what I'm saying is, if you need one, not having a period is a wonderful life.
And somebody said I had an ultrasound, but it didn't say much because I believe the size of fibroids. Yes, that happens. Like fibroids get too big to even with an ultrasound as a measure. Like I was usually around like 25, 30 centimeters. It kind of cuts off. Like y'all scroll back, y'all look at my patient that had like the 17 and a half pound fibroids, pound worth of fibroids. Literally, that was all one. Her biggest fibroid, all that chopped up on the table, was literally one. So that one fibroid had to be over 75, 80 centimeters. It was like one huge ass fibroid that I had to chunk through. But it said it was only like 26, or it was 226 centimeters. It's not. It really kind of does cut off once you get to a certain point. That doesn't matter. It just gives me an idea. I don't live by ultrasounds. It just gives me a better idea of what I'm dealing with. So don't worry about it if it's not very descriptive. It just helps.
Okay, I got a question that says, when you say minimally invasive, what does that mean regarding fibroid surgery?
That means the smallest incision you possibly can make and doing the job that you can possibly do. So minimally invasive, everybody feels is laparoscopic, which in theory, like laparoscopically is the most minimally invasive way of surgery. However, the way I view it is, especially for fibroid surgery and preserving the uterus, it's removing all of the fibroids, right? So with laparoscopic surgery, you only can see things. Like you can only get what you see, right? There's no feel, there's anything. You look at the uterus and you just get fibroids as you see them. The problem with fibroids is that fibroids can be the size of peas, they can be the size of marbles, and they get stuck in the muscle, and you don't see those. The only way you can get them is feeling them, right? So with that being said, I changed my mentality around fibroid surgery to say, hey, change the minimally invasive approach to decrease or minimize an incision to the point where you could get all of the fibroids, and at the same point, have a lower recovery, decrease healing, and bleed. Do the exact same thing as a laparoscopic surgery, but do it through a slightly bigger incision so that you can get all of the fibroids. So that's what I personally mean by minimally invasive. Some doctors you're gonna see will argue that or what have you and say, hey, that's just not, you could do this robotically or whatever. Fibroids is damn near all I do at this point. Like that's what I do. People are calling me going, I do fibroid, I didn't do fibroid surgeries, so many freaking fibroid surgeries, like I cannot even, like my middle name is fibroid, so like that's all I do. So with that being said, I'm speaking from an experience standpoint of knowing what is there, right? And having the experience to know that whatever's on that ultrasound, whatever's on the MRI, whatever that report said, I guarantee you got more fibroids in that. Guaranteed. 1,000 times out of 1,000, I've never had somebody come and say, oh, it's 3 fibroids. And then I go in there and I remove 3 fibroids. Never. I go in there, if it's 3 fibroids, I'm going in there to remove 30. If it's 10 fibroids, I'm going in there to remove 70. Like they're going to mention the fibroids that are most significant and the ones that they want, that they want to. That no ultrasound report, no MRI is going to list more than about 5 or 6 fibroids. That's where they start cutting it off. At that point, they're like, okay, you figure it out. That's it. So with that being said, you have to get all of them. And that's my mindset. And with that, and also too, when you do minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery for fibroids, realize I don't care how minimally invasive it is to struggle with that, you are obligated for a C-section. You're going to have a C-section in the future. So it doesn't make as much sense to struggle with these small incisions when you can do an incision this big, get all of the damn fibroids out, and then utilize that same incision as low hitting in the pelvis in your hairline and use that same incision for your C-sections in the future. It just makes more sense. Somebody trying to get on this.
Okay.
Trying to go to man. Let's go.
Hello.
What's happening?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Look, hi, Cola. Look, you said you were anemic, and I said, oh, that sounds like me. I literally thought my friend group would be like, girl, you like the sleepy person. I'm like, I need a nap every day. No, I was anemic. Huge difference.
So tell the people who you are. I know.
So I know. So my name is Stacy. Dr. P performed my surgery, I think about 8 weeks now. It was on September 19th. And I had a total hysterectomy. It changed my life. I wish I would have done it sooner, but I'm happy that I didn't, because I literally have the best access to care that anyone could choose. And Dr. P was the perfect surgeon for me. I'm happy I didn't do it sooner, because I needed to be in his care. So I would encourage everyone to make an appointment, follow through. I know he says he doesn't need 300 people coming into his inbox or making appointments, but literally this hysterectomy changed my life. I feel like a brand new person. And I was the person believing all the myths, what's going to happen after the hysterectomy is all of this, know what I'm saying? All of the things. I was so afraid.
Yes. And what I tell you.
Listen, none of that's true, okay? None of that's true.
I tried to tell you.
It's
Please
better.
believe me.
Yeah, she was like a little baby Cola. She had some stuff to deal with. She didn't have what you had, Cola, but it was enough. It was enough. It was challenging.
Yes, but the best care. So I just really wanted to get on here and give you kudos and just Dr. P, literally you are out here changing lives. And I definitely believe just more research needs to be put into this area. Payers need to provide, appropriate reimbursement for providers taking their time doing this work for women. It literally is God's work. So thank you so much. I just really wanted to just say thank you.
And tell the people, because they were like, hey, you guys are not paid spokeswomen.
No.
Y'all are doing this on your own.
No, I found Dr. P. I have a good relationship with my provider. And this says a lot, right? But when we started talking about surgery, I just did not believe that she was the appropriate person to do my surgery. And like you, Cola, I knew I was at a point where surgery was the option. And so I'm at home in the middle of the night. We've all done it on Google, best Black gynecologist to perform hysterectomy, all of the things. And Dr. P came up, and just like you, half Google, half, social media. And I feel like it was a godsend because I'm in the Chicagoland area and I had access to him. So
I can attest to that too, because sometimes you just be like, and my provider is, I have a good relationship with her too. She's not a gynecologist though, so she already had told me like, it's a wrap. You got to find somebody. But like I said, she gave me somebody, and I wasn't comfortable with who she referred. So I was like, I'm gonna have to keep looking.
Yes. Yeah, but yes. Well, thank you so much, Dr. P. Everyone,
Thank
you for joining
listen.
me.
I'm still gonna reach out to you about the ERAS protocol, because they still are pushing that. And so for everybody, it's like, that's another thing. Say she was like, she was on this basically it's this task force that manages pain for the most part. And what I know is that like we experience pain a little differently. Like black women have like just pain. Like it's not addressed appropriately. And I see in these hospitals that, you know, they think we're all drug seeking. We think we like, you know, don't need pain meds, like y'all strong, like y'all black women, y'all could just handle it or whatever. This is through centuries of just racism and miseducation, and it needs to be addressed. And so like the thought process is like, you don't need narcotics, you don't need like these stronger pain medications after you have these major surgeries. So, you know, you are going to be very instrumental in some of the things I do in the future to educate people in that way, because like you would be like shocked. At my hospital right now, they literally, like the same hospital, like if it would have been another doctor, they would have had you just straight on gabapentin and ibuprofen. That was it. You would not have gotten any strong pain medications like right after surgery, which is nuts to me. But to have you speak on it and actually have done the research on it, I really, really need you to put your 2 cents in.
We will be in touch.
Sure.
We will be in touch.
We sure
Thank
will.
you.
All right, well, I'll talk later.
Okay.
Well, at least I let people join again.
Yeah, look at that. Look at God.
I know, right? Because it was tripping. Okay, next question. Do you scope for endometriosis through laparoscopy?
Yes.
Okay.
Laparoscopic surgery, yes. I do surgery for endometriosis through scopes. The other question was yeah, so you had ultrasound in March. Like if your ultrasound or MRI is within the past year and a half, 2 years, it's fine. I'm okay with that. It's just not any ultrasounds from like 4 or 5 years ago. If that's the case, we need to redo it. Someone asked, so it's a lot of questions in here. We're missing.
Yeah, I got it. I could see on the screen. I can't go in the question box.
No,
so are you?
I'm just scrolling.
Okay, well, I got the screen. I can handle that. I can't handle the question.
They was asking about like UFEs and
that one. They want you to explain it. The favorite topic.
UFEs, real quick. I am not a proponent. I do not like UFEs. I got on, like, I made a comment. Somebody said, like, when you all send me stuff like, oh, comment on this, I comment. Which, you know, I don't care, like, who I piss off. Like, it's more so about educating people. So it was a thing about where, you know, Rashawn Ali, who I know, and I've been on the show with her before. She was interviewing this interventional radiologist talking about UFEs, and I gave my comments on it. I would not recommend it to my family. I would not recommend it to my patients. I don't like UFEs, and I'm not biased per se. I just have seen enough. I've seen enough to where people are in pain, where it doesn't do what it's touted to do, and it doesn't make a lot of sense for me personally, but it's an option, right? So don't let me take away your option. And I don't take away an option. If you come to me, I give you UFEs as an option, but I just personally, I tell you my personal opinion of, I don't recommend it for you. And what a UFE is basically mapping out your uterus, your fibroids through ultrasound, and it's an ultrasound guidance to where an interventional radiologist will go and take a catheter and thread it through your either a blood vessel, the big blood vessel in your groin, or a blood vessel through your arm, and basically just thread it all the way up, all the way to the arteries that go to your uterus, and then the smaller arteries that are going to those particular Fibroids basically send an agent in to clot off the blood vessel, which basically strangulates, well, not strangulates, which causes what's called ischemic necrosis. It's cutting off the blood supply to the tissue, right? Ischemia, or lack of blood flow or oxygen to any tissue, hurts, right? If you sit on your hands, you sit on your butt for too long, like you cut off the blood flow to something, you start to tingle. That tingling is literally lack of oxygen to tissue. The difference is you can get off of whatever it is, return the blood flow, that tingling goes away. Imagine if you cut the blood flow off to living tissue on the inside, it's not coming back. For some people, they don't have pain. It does well for them. But if you look at all of the patients that I see, which I see a whole shit ton of them, they're in the minority. They're in the vast minority of people that I actually see. The overwhelming majority of patients that I see that have had UFEs have pain, have issues, still have continued bleeding, still have continued issues. That's why for me, if my sister, which I talk to all of y'all, whoever comes see me, like, you my sister, if my sister came to me, I would tell her, absolutely not. We're not doing this, sis. And I'll tell you the exact same thing. So if you don't want to listen to me, you're like, hey, such and such and such got a UFE. They did great with it. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You believe who you're going to believe, but realize everybody's situation is a little different. So if you want experience from somebody that's seen a lot of it, you ask me. But other than that, you just have to go with what you think. Okay.
Can you explain the full process, like the initial visit and how soon after someone can get surgery?
Got you. So, so if you are in Chicago, or if you are somewhere where you can access and come in person, you can call my office. You can reach out to me. I call my office for in-person consultations and visits. You come in, get your consultation, and that day we look at if you want surgery. We figure out the surgery day. I look at my schedule and I get that surgery day for you, and then I plan. We start planning your surgery, right? Simple as that. If you're out of state, you cannot see me in person. You go through the website, which is pinned on there. We do the exact same thing. We go through a consultation. I go through your history. I go through everything that I would do in the office, history, all that good stuff, what have you. And then we determine if you need surgery. If we say, hey, you think about it, some people need a couple weeks to think about it, it's fine. You don't have to make a decision a day. Do whatever it is that you need to do to make a decision. Once we decide that, yes, you want me to do your surgery, we're going to do surgery, and you've called your insurance, make sure that you have a PPO plan that will cover you. Then from there, I simply just put your information into the hospital database, into my office, have another small little conversation through my office. They actually run your insurance, and we get you the exact same thing. So get you the date and everything else. So if I talk, like for instance, I talked to 3 people today. All of them want surgery. All of them were virtual consultations. So from today, I'm going to give my office manager all their information. She's going to give them a call tomorrow. I'm out of town tomorrow. So on Monday, I'm going to have another small conversation with all 3 of those women, and they're going to go on my surgery schedule, and we'll talk about, flights and all that stuff coming into surgery. But it doesn't change much whether it's virtual or in person. In person is just a little quicker. It's less convenient for you, but it's somewhat quicker because you're right there. Virtual is way more convenient for you, but it doesn't really take you out of the process. It's the same thing.
Okay. What's your time frame?
Yeah, keep going. Go ahead, talk for a second.
Okay. All right, let me go back to the list that's submitted. Is it true, this is one of the myths, is it true that after a hysterectomy you will have issues with, well, they say getting wet, but I'm assuming they mean vaginal dryness? We're going to talk proper today. So I mean, that's a myth. Now, if you had issues with it before, you will return to what you had prior to surgery. So I don't want to, as long as you weren't having issues with that before, you do not have to get your ovaries removed because you are getting a hysterectomy. So I think that in the myth, people associate hysterectomy means my ovaries are going to be removed. They're two totally different, separate, completely different procedures. There are people that have to get two procedures, but I only had to get one for the uterus only. I did not have to get rid of my ovaries. So ovaries do control your hormones. So you probably should clarify if you are having your uterus removed, or are they suggesting that your ovaries need to be removed? And if that's the case, depending on your age, you probably should clarify why they're suggesting that, because they're very important. And I'll let the medical expert speak. I didn't done it so long now. I mean,
You good? You handling the business. I'm proud. I'm over here proud.
I mean, you need your ovaries for bone health. Look
Look
I know
at
the
bone
list
health.
now.
Look at you. Look at you.
So if they healthy, you shouldn't be getting rid of your ovaries. So that could definitely affect your ability to, lubricate or whatever. But again, hysterectomy is just your uterus. Is not automatically includes your ovaries. You would have to have, that discussion with your doctor, what your case requires.
So other quick questions, so with laparoscopy, like I am a laparoscopic surgeon. Everything minus myomectomies, I do laparoscopic. So endometriosis, hysterectomies, all of those things are minimally invasive laparoscopic robotic procedures. So yes, that's what I do. I talk a lot about myomectomies because that's what everybody wants to talk about, because that's what people are dealing with. But everything else, endometriosis, hysteroscopies, anything gynecologic, I do it, right? It's just I don't talk about it a ton because that's not what's the prevalent thing that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about fibroids, so that's what I talk about the most. It doesn't mean I do it though. Question about, do I allow a patient to be awake during a procedure, during epidural, using epidural versus general? Absolutely not. So imagine this. You have an epidural, and I am in your belly with hot, sharp instruments, and you are able to move your bottom half, and you just turn and move. All right. Now we nick a blood vessel or do whatever. You have to go to sleep. If I'm in your belly with hot, sharp instruments, you need to go to sleep. It's just not something that you need to stay up for. It's not feasible. So initial visit surgery answer. I think okay. Got it. So you see some more? Cole? Sorry.
No, you good. It's letting me see the questions in the chat box.
Look at that. Yeah, please put the questions in the chat box. It's hard as hell to follow these questions back up. Like, if you got questions, please put them in the chat box.
We wasn't sure if it was going to allow, so we was trying to do the screen as best we can. But it's so much more easier if you use that question bubble with a question mark, because then I can mark off that I answered it and everything.
And what are steps for people out of state? Insurance steps of out of state people, and I'll explain that. Yes, I'm in the shower. What are steps out of state? I explain that. So I'm sorry. I'm just talking.
No, you go. I think we got the screen. It might only let me go back so far, but I think we got the screen.
So if you're in Ohio and you get PPO insurance, like literally you are in open enrollment right now as we speak. Open enrollment for the most part is national. It starts. So if you do not have a PPO plan, you can easily go through open enrollment, start PPO. Oh my God, Cole gone. Let me try to get her back on here. Wait. A moderator can't be in a live video. Why is that? I don't know what just happened to her. Color, get back on the bottom of it so I can. It's doing something weird again. Anyway, I'll get her back on. But yeah, so you can get a PPO insurance. And call, like when you call these insurance companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United, Aetna, all of them, just call and ask them, like, what are the plans that you have, like PPO plans that allow me to travel, allow me to get care in any state or what have you. The more specific it gets, the more, obviously the more expensive it will be. But you can get whatever plan and cross over to whatever plan. Get it temporarily. You don't need it forever. You need it for a year, get what you need to get, and then, you can change it back. But that's how you do it. Just call the insurance company and just see what the plans that they have available, look at the prices, and then choose the one that makes sense for you. I don't know What's that? She stopped moderating. All right, well, come on back on in. Blah, blah, blah. You gotta, I don't know why Instagram tripping like that. There you go.
Yeah, it made me press a button to say I wasn't
But if you
moderating.
moderate, you should be automatically on here. That
And it shouldn't boot me out.
I agree.
See what I'm saying? Instagram be trying to play.
Yeah, they be hating.
That's what I thought. I'm like, why is it booting me out? Okay, so now I can see the questions in the question box. Let me, if you come from out of state, how long should you stay in Chicago for recovery? And what is recovery like?
So everybody's a little bit different, but I will tell you what it typically is. So typically, if you're having a myomectomy or even a hysterectomy or laparoscopic hysterectomy, surgeries are typically on Tuesday, sometime on Wednesday, just depending on what you're having. If you are having a Tuesday surgery, this is how it should be. You fly in Sunday night, Monday you chill out. My hospital knows that a lot of my patients are flying in from other states, so they don't put a lot of stress and strains to come and get your labs the day before. They'll allow you to come on the morning of surgery, which is Tuesday morning, to get your labs, your blood counts, all of those things. You have surgery on Tuesday. With myomectomies, it really just depends on how extensive it is. Some of you all come with fibroids, that look like this. If your body is losing this, then it changes a little bit. It's like I can't predict how your body is going to adjust once you lose like such a large mass. Some women, I could take it out and they keep ticking like ain't nothing happened. Let's keep moving. Some women, I take it out and their body like, belly hurts, and it's not even from surgery. It's their bowels kind of like settling into a new place, or bladders like settling and like stretching more than it ever had. So now they having that type of pain, or they're nauseous now because their bowels are in a new place. Like I don't know what happens with that, but typically you will be in the hospital for 2 days. So if I do it on Tuesday, you're out of the hospital by Thursday. Notice I said typically. Sometimes if you're great, you feeling good, you can leave the hospital on Wednesday. Sometimes your pain is a little bit more, and you just having more trouble to adjust. You may be in there till Friday, or maybe in there 3 days. I don't know. Everybody's a little bit different. And with that being said, in a perfect world, if everything goes flawless, perfect, no pain, no issues, out of the hospital in 2 days, I allow you to fly back home on Saturday, right? That's the earliest that you can fly back home. So I usually will take 96 hours after surgery, fly back home on Saturday. I give you an anticoagulant to ensure that you're not having any blood clots or anything on the plane, and give you all types of post-op, do's and don'ts, risk and all that good stuff. And so usually it's from Sunday to Saturday. Now, again, sometimes it's changed. I've had patients that have had to push that back a few days. Like maybe you may need to leave Sunday, you may need to leave Monday. So have some flexibility, get a ticket with some flexibility to say, hey, if I need to push it back, Southwest, anybody that allows you to say, hey, I want to just bump my ticket back a few days, you can do that. But usually no more than a week. So Sunday to Sunday, you typically are out of there. There are a couple of special cases where I've had to keep people another couple of days after that, but usually no more than that. That's how it is.
Okay. How do you manage hormones after surgery?
You really don't have to manage hormones, because usually, most women will keep their ovaries unless they're postmenopausal already and they choose to get their ovaries taken. But as long as your ovaries are spared, retained, then the same hormones that you had before surgery are going to be the same hormones that you have after surgery. You don't need hormone replacements or anything like that. And even if you do get your ovaries removed, your postmenopausal, at that point your ovaries not working much anyway. So you would have probably needed, medications before, but there are only a small subset of women that actually needs medications for hormone replacement. It usually doesn't. It's not an issue. So there's really not much as far from a hormone replacement standpoint that you need following surgery.
All right. And what's your time looking like?
We can go to 7:30. Do the
Okay.
hour.
All right. So how soon can I cancel my insurance to get a cheaper plan after I have surgery?
That everybody a little different.
Yeah,
Usually,
depending on your
yeah, it
enrollment.
depends on your enrollment. It depends on the insurance company. It depends on enrollment. Typically, it's usually a year because it is you can only again change it within the open enrollment period. So if you drop it in June, you can't really like re-enroll or do anything else until the end of the year. So just be kind of careful about that. But usually they're about a year. Some of them are 6 months, but most of them are a year that you have to have it.
All right. I think I got the ones in the question bubble. Oh no. What is considered advanced fibroid disease? That's my case.
For me, like I feel if you could feel it, if your belly is protruding out and you can push on it and you feel hard on your belly and it's like, it's bulging, to me, that's advanced. 10 centimeters or greater, if you have on an ultrasound, it's 10 centimeters or greater, that's advanced. Having fibroids that are impacting your quality of life and they're numerous and they're causing major problems, no matter how big they are, that's advanced. Having fibroids causing significant infertility, pushing into your cavity, no matter how big they are, that's advanced. So it's not really one definition for advanced, like, you have advanced fibroid disease. I think it's multifaceted as far as that's concerned, like what's considered. But if it's significantly impacting your quality of life, causing infertility, pain with sex, pain with your periods, excessive bleeding with your periods or even outside of your periods, and it's advanced. That's what I say.
All right. Do you get stage fright when you perform surgery?
Never. And again, I know if you know me, like me. Like I equate it to just like life experiences, like what you've been through. Like I've been through some very strenuous, stressful stuff in my lifetime. So like when I don't really get stressed, I'm super calm. It's real eerie. I'm super calm when I guess I should be stressed, or like I'm calm with situations like that. Because I've seen like the craziest stuff. Like my mentality is what is stress going to do? Stress is not going to change the situation. It's not going to do anything. It's only going to be a deterrent from you trying to do what you're trying to do. So if you just block that out, just block it out. And it's hard. It's difficult. Don't get me wrong, for most people to do, but like I've seen the worst of the worst. So it's like stuff really don't bother me, and that's just my demeanor too. I'm people like hate it, like I'm nonchalant. I kind of like chill or whatever. I've seen the craziest of crazy. So it's like, what worst that can happen? So I'm extremely calm. I don't really get like nervous or frustrated or like scared. Sometimes I start questioning myself, like, damn, how you about to do this? Like, you done got yourself into some shit, boy. like I'll be in there, like nobody knows what's going on in my mind because I'm still super calm. But in the back of my mind, like, hey man, you got to figure this out. But I'll figure it out. Like I'm very like stubborn and persistent once I get into cases. Like I had a case on Tuesday where it was adhesion. It was stuff. It was crazy. She was losing blood. It was like crazy. And I'm talking to the residents. I'm teaching at the same time. I'm just talking to them. I tell them what I would tell myself. Just keep working. Just keep working. Things will start to make sense. Just relax. Like it'll start to make sense. Your anatomy, your skills are there. Like everything will start to make sense. You've seen it before. So when you've seen like crazy stuff before and you've gotten through tough cases. I put myself through very, very, very difficult cases. Like Hola's case was extremely difficult, where it was like I was at the point where it was like, what am I doing? But I'm here now. And I got to figure it out. Like, it was literally her fibroid was here and me putting the instruments in. Like, I had this much space to really like maneuver the instruments to really like do stuff. And yeah, it's difficult. But if you're determined to do something and you've done something like over and over again, like, it takes the fear out of stuff. So I don't really get scared about anything or nervous. Like, I'm cool.
Well, I was nervous.
No.
I had enough nervous energy for all of
Yeah.
us. But again, like your other patient stress is that I know I said that I'm trying to make people be more preventative and less crisis, but I do agree with that sometimes sometimes I have to say that the positive in me waiting is that it was supposed to be you. Like, I really truly feel like it was supposed to be you, because it just wouldn't have meshed with me, and it just had to be you. Like, it just really did. And I didn't know when I had surgery 2 years ago that we would be doing this for 2 years. So it had to be us to get this, to start this. Like, I didn't know that many people was gonna care that much about what I was going through. And then so many people had my same story too. Like, because you only find out other people have it when people start talking about it. And unfortunately in our community, it's always, oh, we don't really know what he's dealing with, but we know he's sick. People keep their medical private.
Yeah, and like, it's okay to come to me early. You don't have to come to me with these, like, you just see how nervous I could get or how much skills. I'm okay. Like, yeah, it's okay to come to me early before.
I wasn't trying to test you, but boy,
like, yeah, because man, they come like for real. Like, it's starting to get out of control now. It's just like, oh, Dr. Johnson, I've been waiting to talk to you. Come deal with this shit. I'm like, hold up, Paul. Wait a minute. It's gonna come to a point where I'm just like, wait a minute. Well, hold on, man. Y'all trying to troll me, man?
Right.
Like it's getting
somebody
really
trying to be
big.
your first conversion.
Oh,
Jesus!
No, it's like now, like it's like, like I had a woman today. It was like, fortunately, she wants a myomectomy, but if she wanted a hysterectomy, I would have to open her. There's no other, because there's no room. I know it's no room. Like, she's her biggest fibroid, they have on paper is like 32, 33 centimeters.
Right.
Like, and that's because the ultrasound cuts off. I know it's bigger than that. I mean, like, she's every bit 9 months, 10 months pregnant, like full-term pregnancy. Her belly, she's a small woman with a belly like hanging over like this. So for that, I still have not had one. I have not scheduled a total abdominal hysterectomy, meaning an open hysterectomy. I have not scheduled one to this day in 10 years, but I know it's coming. I know I'm gonna have to do it eventually. But as long as they want a myomectomy, it's just gonna be a small incision anyway to take to deal with it. But they want a hysterectomy. Like, I'm getting to the point where they come where it's like I'm gonna have to fold one time.
But your incision is still super low.
Yeah, it's still low. It's still gonna be the same. It's still gonna be super low. I'm not vertical incision nobody, but I'm still trying to keep my 10-year streak alive of no abdominal hysterectomies, no scheduled abdominal hysterectomy. So we'll see. Y'all pushing me though.
Is there a natural way to balance hormones after a hysterectomy?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, again, if you mean hysterectomy because you're gonna lose your hormones, again, hysterectomy is just the uterus. It's not uterus and ovaries. They two totally separate things. That was one thing I even researched myself, because a lot of people, people was telling me like, oh, I had everything taken. And when I did the research, they were misunderstanding total versus partial, which was different terminology that I think we make up in in our own way. But it's definitely not the same thing. Hysterectomy is not taking your ovaries. But if you do need to manage your hormones, is there a natural way? So if you do need to manage your hormones, let's answer that, because it's not hysterectomy
Yeah, I
related.
mean, yeah, it's you know, so the other misconception is that women believe that the only hormones you have in your body come from your ovaries, which is not true, right? There are multitudes of different glands that produce hormones that do multitudes of different things, right? So you got thyroid, you got your pituitary gland, you got your adrenal gland, you got your pancreas. Like all of these things are putting out hormones that impact different things, and some of them overlap with each other. So just because you feel, dang, Cola, but just because you feel depressed doesn't mean it's because your ovaries aren't putting enough hormones out. Or just because, you feel like, you're not losing weight, or you just got weight gain doesn't mean that, your ovarian hormones are the problem. So just be careful and mindful of that. Removing your uterus has absolutely nothing to do with your hormones. It's you can remove your uterus, save your ovaries, and it's still going to produce the same amount of hormones. So you don't have to just take medications just because you had a hysterectomy. That's a misconception. I'll tell you about your uterus again. The only function, now I know y'all don't want to hear this, y'all. The only function for your uterus is to get pregnant and have babies with it. That's it. You don't bleed. You don't cleanse yourself from bleeding, because everybody, well, it cleans me every month, and if I don't have a period, then I'm gonna be dirty. Blah blah. What happens to women in menopause? They just dirty, just walk around just dirty all day long. No, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't do that. It doesn't control your hormone. It doesn't, like, make it so you feel like a woman and not grow hair or not grow, get your voice deep. All of these things that people believe that your uterus really controls and does, it's not that. It literally sits there waiting for a fertilized egg to get implanted in there. That's it. If you have no intentions for that to happen, you don't need it. But that doesn't mean you necessarily need a hysterectomy. If it's not causing you to have problems, leave it alone. But if it's causing you to have major problems from advanced fibroid disease, and you have no desire to have any babies with it, then at least consider hysterectomy. Again, I'm not pushing hysterectomy on anybody. And I see multitudes of my patients that are in here that have gotten myomectomies, that have gotten hysterectomies. Y'all can chime in any way I want. Anytime, y'all know y'all can say whatever y'all want with me. Because I know people talking like, he don't know shit. He don't know what it feels like as a woman to not have a uterus. You're right. I don't. I got you. You are 1,000% right. I do not know what it's like to have your uterus removed. I give you that. I 100% give you that. But what I do know is I got friends that do know, right? And that's why we're on here, right? So you can talk to them all about it, because all I do is tell you what they tell me. I tell you the experiences that I experience with them, because we deal with this together. Like, they ain't just in it together. We had a whole experience together. Though I'm not losing my uterus with them, I feel their pains. I feel their their emotions, their feelings. Talk to them extensively. If you do that thousands of times, you do know a little bit of something. You may not know it from personal experience, but you know enough from their experiences to be able to talk intelligibly about it. But with all that being said, yes, you're right. I'm still a man. That's why I open up everything to my patients, allow them to be able to say what their experiences are. And everybody's been pretty cool to the point where, you can ask anybody. You don't just have to ask Cola. It's patients all over here that will tell you what their experience is like with the uterus, without the uterus, salvaging the uterus, all of those things. Just please ask them.
I mean, but it is true that you can be trained to support something that you didn't personally build or have yourself. Like, I mean, I work in technology and I'm not a developer, but I support systems that developers build all day from scratch. So even though I don't relate to building the code, I can still support it with the education I have. So you still can. I'm saying all that to say is that you don't have to have had a uterus to necessarily know a lot about them.
All right. So the other question, HSA, FSA can be used for the consultation, right? I don't have no credit card machines that's going to take HSA and FSA. It is just straight. It's out of pocket. Unfortunately, I don't have that. This is just me. I wish I did, but I don't. If they allow you to take the funds out and be able to use it, or you can like use it for charging, like, yeah, you can. Like, you can go to the website and use it. It's not to say that it's restricted, but sometimes they have their restrictions on like entities. Like, I'm just a doctor or what have you. I'm not an office that has like, you know, all of the stuff that's in their database. So they may have a problem with you using it as a HSA, FSA thing. So that's something that you may have to check with them. That question I can't really answer. I would probably say no, because they look for any way that you can't use something. And then plus it's like, you know, government billing and all that stuff, whatever. So there's other things associated with it. So probably an answer to that question.
Yep. I will definitely say that they are going to fine tooth comb that charge, even if you do apply for reimbursement. Trust and believe that
Literally.
they play no
Not
games.
at all.
All right. We have 5 minutes, so
This will be saved. It will be posted. I post them all. They're there. I've went back and started to putting them in the little live thing. I need to organize. Anybody that's like great, like a social media manager and all that stuff, I need help. I promise I need help, because I try to do my best, but I'm so busy or whatever. Just why I haven't posted for the past couple of weeks, because I'm just surgery. I got all types of fibroids in my phone that I really want to post, but I just have not had time. So if anybody is a very, very good social media manager, whatever, you can DM me. You know, I'm looking for that. I need that assistance to organize and do all that. Just throwing that out there. If you got questions, put it in the box.
Get a good intern teenager.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be dope.
So when I made that reel with the lady saying surprise, surprise, my daughter was like, "Who taught you that?" And I was like, "I had a little time. I figured it out." Like that. I figured it out.
Hey,
all right.
Somebody's trying to pop in here. Let me see.
Go right ahead.
Boop, boop, boop. Try that. Oh, there.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing excellent. We'd be better if we could see your face.
Oh, what's going on? It ain't showing.
We see a wall.
We see a wall, straight wall. Flip the camera around.
So okay, let me see how I do it. Okay. Okay, wait.
Now we see your bed.
Or couch or something.
Now you flip it back to yourself.
So now, flip it back to yourself. Maybe you had it too high.
Okay, let me see. Do I have to hit? Okay, wait.
There you go. Hey, what's that?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Okay, so like my Instagram does not show properly. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I don't understand what the issue is, because I see you, Miss, but I don't see the doctor. And I can see everything after it's already posted. But anyway, I just want to question.
Sure.
Like, my daughter has always suffered from menstrual cramps to where she has to go to the hospital. She done lost jobs, have to always be off. And I know I had fibroids, and it was hard for me to even have a baby, but I ended up, a miracle of God, and I had a baby that they really didn't think was a viable pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
But during that whole time, after I crossed over the mark, because they said the fibroid was on the top of the uterus, so they didn't understand how did any egg or any sperm get into the fallopian tube or into any of that, because it was squished down to close. But anyway, my miracle baby came, but at the same time I was going through the pregnancy, the tumor was growing. growing. So I was like, literally, every time they try to do a sonogram, they think that was the baby and that was the fibroid. But long story short, I don't know if she's suffering
Sure.
from that. And I like, she has no
Mhm.
kids. And I keep trying to tell her, but I know, doctor, you like in a whole nother state.
So question.
So I
So
was
so a
just,
couple of different questions. How old is she?
she just turned 32.
Okay. Has she had
Well, actually 33. 33.
so
I'm sorry.
has she
30.
has she had an ultrasound MRI before?
Probably not, because her issue is they don't want to, when you don't have insurance,
Yeah.
they don't be wanting to do all of that. And it's like every time I tell her when she get a job, I say, I want you to stop taking off. Like when your insurance kick in on your job, just go to the
I mean,
doctor. Get
she could get the like the Obamacare, like she could get the MCO, a managed care plan, like in any state. So she can like insurance is for everybody. So she can at least get that. And for
But my thing is they always want to do, like, listen, when I was a young girl,
Mhm.
I was in the hospital every month, like my daughter,
Yeah.
for menstrual cramp. Like literally, I have to be on a IV for
Mhm.
pain. My mama took me to the hospital every month. It was unbearable.
The
It was,
yeah, so going to the ER is not going to be the ticket. The ER, everybody thinks it's something going to ER. The ER is really putting band-aids on stuff. They want to, if you coming in there with pain, they're going to deal with the pain, shut you up, give you some morphine, and scoot you on to get to a GYN or that's going to figure out what's really wrong with you. So with that being said, for her, the first and foremost thing that she needs to do is to get some form of insurance. Like she can get on public assistance insurance, no matter what state, because where are you located?
well, she doesn't live in
Where,
the same state I am.
where's she at?
I'm like, she's in Mississippi right now. But the
Gotcha.
thing is, whenever you go to them doctors, like when I was going, my mom was taking me when I was a young girl, like in my teens, they were wanting to do some type of hysterectomy.
Right.
Like my mom was like, no, she young.
I
Like,
agree. And
so,
In Mississippi, she gonna have that problem anyway. But
and
she doesn't
that's
have
what I don't want.
she doesn't have to do anything. The only thing she needs is to get the information. Get the information, and then she can make, an informed decision about what makes sense for her. So the first thing is just get the ultrasound, get the MRI. That way I can tell her, like, our fibroid is causing you to have your issues or whatever. Because it could be she has endometriosis. It could be she has other things that are not fibroids. And so the ultrasound, MRI, will not even MRI. She needs an ultrasound. Ultrasound is going to at least tell her, like, hey, you have a normal appearing uterus, and if that's the case, then it's probably endometriosis, adenomyosis, or something like that. And
What's the difference with, okay, I can't even say the word,
endometriosis,
endometriosis? What's the difference between that and fibroids? Because I've never
absolutely.
understood the
So
difference.
fibroids are
Good question.
actually like they're masses. They're benign tumors that grow in on the uterus, right? They're just benign tumors. Endometriosis is when the lining of the uterus, like those cells from the lining or the inside of the uterus, actually
Mhm.
start to grow in the belly. So typically that happens when your periods, like they kind of back up through the tubes, and it'll take the cells from the inside of your uterus, and those implants will implant into other places into your belly. That's painful. It makes bleeding worse, makes pain worse. Like those things happen. So
That's her. And that's why she can't keep no job, because she's always off during the cycle. So, okay.
so if she doesn't have fibroids, and she may not need surgery, right? There are medications that will help with that, help significantly with that. So the first things first for her is to get on insurance. Like literally tomorrow, call, get on the managed care plans is what they call them, right? Managed
Okay.
care plans are, the public assistance plans, until she gets a job or what have you, to get a better plan, at least get that. So if she gets on a managed care plan, she goes to her OBGYN, then she can get an ultrasound. They may tell her she need a hysterectomy. They may tell her a whole bunch of stuff. She doesn't have to listen to anything they say. Just get the information from the ultrasound, and then from there start talking about, finding, different options to treat her. Because if it's not fibroids, there are medications that will help her in her suffering.
But what about why she hasn't got I'm not a grandma,
I got you.
so
But
I just like.
she got diagnosed. We got to diagnose first. So once we
So
diagnose,
how much would it cost if I brought her to you?
well,
Because that's like
that's the
if I
bigger
had
thing.
to.
That's the bigger thing with her insurance stuff. So, she's gonna have to gotta have an insurance plan to do that. Unless, you pay for office visits out of pocket, that's fine
Well,
too.
that's what I'm saying. If it came down to it, because I really want this, I want to know how much will it cost, because then I'll just pay for it. How much will it
We
cost
could talk. We could
if
talk about that, like the office visits. I don't really know out of pocket what
okay.
office visits are.
Because I know you just always sound so informative, and I appreciate your work and like everything that you say. You're very detailed. So like for a doctor to be very detailed and not suggest always the like things to just take away like something to fix something, because that's what I believe in. Like I don't want to mask something or just take something out, because that's the only alternative
Yeah.
that maybe a doctor can do versus a doctor that has other alternatives that can fix or solve the issue before going to tragic measures and stuff like
And
that.
I can
So I'm gonna
can
talk
help
to her.
I can help her virtually if it's not fibroids. Like if I don't have to operate on her and this is just a gynecologic thing like endometriosis, we could do this virtually. So the first thing I would say is get her insurance.
Okay.
And even if she goes to the ER, like they should give her ultrasound even without insurance. They should have given her one. If not, get her some insurance, which she should be able to do that within the next few weeks. Get insurance, get an ultrasound. Once she gets the ultrasound, then we can just set up a virtual consultation, and then I can help her. I can still prescribe her medications and stuff from a different state.
Okay. Oh my God, I really do appreciate that. I really
No
do.
problem.
I'm gonna talk to her, and then so I'll just
Yeah,
inbox you and see. I get her first to do what you said. Try to get some kind of insurance if she hasn't already got it, and then set up some kind of consultation after maybe she's able to get a diagnosis or ultrasound or
yeah.
something like that to find out.
That's all she needs is ultrasound. Get an ultrasound,
Oh,
and then the website is on there. It's pinned on there. Just take the website down. She can schedule a consultation, and then we can do this virtually.
how much is the consultation?
It's on the website.
It's on the website. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Thanks for coming in. All right.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Well, it's 7:37.
You're cool. Is there more questions?
Well, yeah. But I know.
That's
Okay.
cool.
What hormones make you have a pH imbalance like scent? Can I answer this
Go
one?
ahead. No,
No. I'm gonna let the
no,
doctor.
hell no.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No,
They
take them.
don't be wanting to hear what I
No,
gotta say
just say the
about
whole
that.
shit. Take them.
Community penis is what causes you to have a pH imbalance. It's not. When they line, that's where you're gonna have that problem. But I'm gonna be medical because that's I don't want anybody to say I'm male bashing, so I'm gonna be quiet. But from a patient perspective, I'm just saying.
You mail bash the shit out of dudes. It's cool though. You can have that.
I don't male bash. I'm not like that. I got
Yeah.
2 brothers, a nice husband, a son, 3 sons. But I'm just saying, if I had to put my money on it, my money, and I mean my money, I'm gonna say community penis.
So if we want real answers about, so any guys, I know it's probably all women in here, so it's a couple. So if you're talking about the pH of your vagina, yes, I will say, careful about what you place in the vagina, but there are more than community penis that will throw off the pH of your vagina, i.e. douching, i.e., any freaking boric acids and all the type of shit that you put in there that they have that are out on the market. Yeah, that can throw off your vaginal pH. Having sex without like having him wash or you wash and making sure everything's clean. If you're introducing, bacteria of any form, you can get quote unquote dirty penis from your husband or your man too. So that can happen just by, if you just y'all feel freaky and just want to do a quickie. Guess what? You have introduced bacteria into the vagina. But as far as for your body, I'm assuming that it's just a vagina, so we're not even talking about pH for the body. We're just talking about.
I'm assuming that
I'm assuming, let's assume
because you're a gynecologist, but
yeah.
they just said
I
pH.
would say don't just be trying all of this shit that you hear. They got all types of fucking teas and washes and put this in your vagina, is gonna inserts and all this other shit that they have out here that y'all like, ooh. Vagina's been cleaning itself on its own forever, right? Just because somebody put their name on it and they put a whole little herbal, organic, it's all type of buzzwords to get y'all like to get it. You can put all type of those little buzzwords on there, sea moss, boric acid, yada 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 yada. Put it on there. You just put it in your vagina. Note that you can be doing yourself more harm than good. The vagina don't need your help. It really does not. It don't need you to, do all types of bee steaming and everything else. But y'all do it, and that can throw off your pH even more than community penis. But I will let y'all have that. And
okay. Well, maybe
blame it on the penis.
The better way to say it is, if you usually are comfortable.
I am not bashing my honeypot women. Don't give me. It's like Beehive. Don't do me. Don't try to set me up for the okie doke. No. I'm not. You can do whatever you want. I said what I said, and now we'll fade to black. I tell y'all a lot of shit, and I'll let you read between lines. The whole point of, just like why I got bashed on the internet and got, all of this viral bullshit and 15 million people talking about everything. I was saying this, and I'll say it again, and I keep going back to this shit because I feel away. But
you should.
We as a society, black people, when I'm talking about society, I'm talking about us, right? Because that's what I'm focused on. We're going through a lot in this country, right? We go and let's just talk about women. We talk about hysterectomies, talk about options. We talk about not being given, talk about getting your wombs taken away, no option, all this stuff we're going through. Women dying at just a ridiculous rate more than anybody else. All of this shit that you see on the internet is true. It's a fact that it's true. And so me, as a man that fights for black women every single day, I'm saying, and all I said was that there are not a lot of providers that are in this country that look like you, right? There are not a lot. Even if you want to, a lot of you all can't even find black doctors. You can't, because African Americans, like black, like any melanated OBGYN is 11%. That's Ethiopians, Egyptians, Ghanaians, Nigerians. Like it's all black people when they look at that. That's 11%. When you look at black African American, mama, daddy from the South, born here, raised here, all of that, it's 5.7% of all of the gynecologists that are in this country. It's 5.7%. So that means if you want to, you can't even find a black doctor, let alone a man. Like, men are just outnumbered altogether. It has completely shifted to where it's a male dominated to now a female dominated profession. So with that being said, in the current state, with all of this shit that's happening, we're still dying and having these problems. Who overpopulates this? White women. That's your population. That's where you're at. So I'm not saying that there are not good white women. It's not good white men. I'm not saying it's not good transgender people. It's not good, it's good people, good surgeons that care in all race, society, whatever. But the overwhelming majority of OBGYNs are white women. And with that being said, our numbers are really under their watch. So when I say, hey, I'm a man, don't exclude me if you need surgery, I'm out here fighting for you, it's not to say that a black woman can't take care of you, because she most certainly can. It's phenomenal black women surgeons. It's phenomenal white women surgeons. It's phenomenal white male surgeons. The one of the surgeons I trust the most that's in Illinois is a white boy named, not white boy, but a white male named Destin Staley. Love him. Love him. He totally two different people. But if I had a surgery that I need my family to go to, I would send my mama to him, right? So it's not me saying, hey, you just need to go to a man, because you can't even pick a man if you want to. I'm saying when you're choosing the care for yourself, don't exclude people that will help you just because you have a bias against one particular person. If it's a transgender person that is going to save your life and do what you need to do, go with their ass. If they the best surgeon, absolutely go with them. If it's a woman in your area that she's the best surgeon, you go with her. But if it's a man in your area and he's the best surgeon, and he's the only one that offers you the surgery that you need, go with him. Don't be like, oh, he's a man, he's a pervert, that's just nuts. That's all I said. I digress. Let me get off of it, because now I'm getting emotional.
Well, you have every right to be emotional, but a lot of people didn't listen to people's soundbite. So for those that did listen, when I said community penis, I don't want people to think I'm male bashing.
You did.
I have male friends in here.
You did.
What I'm saying is subtract one thing, and then so if subtract your feminine wash, if it don't change, subtract what you're eating, because sometimes eating can definitely change, and then if it's still not changing, you're gonna have to subtract the guy at some point, or ask him to wear protection and see if it changes, and then you may have your answer. If you're uncomfortable a lot with one partner, it may not be they may not be telling the truth. That's all I'm saying.
It's facts. No lies are told. You broke it down.
So
don't just
don't assume. Don't start with that.
When you said that, I guarantee you half of the women in here was like, I know it's community dick. These niggas ain't shit. I know it's them. That, and it gotta be the dick. It ain't this boric acid I'm just shoving up in here every week, or it ain't this old freaking douche that I'm doing. It's gotta be his ass. No, ma'am, no. Okay, there's other shit that you could do that is not the community dick that's causing your pH to be a little off. So relax. Leave them alone.
You can accidentally wipe the wrong way.
Facts.
That happens. You can be eating smoothies, changing your diet, and you at work and you can't clean like you want to at home. All that can happen too. But if you on antibiotics on a regular basis, you gotta start subtracting certain things. So start with what products you're using. Then, like I said, sometimes diet can produce overactive yeast and stuff like that. And then
there's some uncircumcised penis, y'all. Hey, some of y'all take the anteater.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is you just got to start the process of elimination. And then if you eliminate that and then you healthy a lot, then you got your answer.
It is an anteater. It's just
that's all I'm saying. See what kind of trouble you trying to get me into.
Started this shit. That's why
I said, don't let me answer the question.
You ain't gonna have me on here like Jeezy talking crazy, getting black men bashed. Nah.
That's why I said I love my black man. I'm married to one. I love my black man.
Cool guy.
But it's process of elimination. Yes, it's process of elimination. You got to start removing some things. That's all. All right. Well, I know I didn't talk your head off.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold up. And the uncircumcised got a better taste. Just pray for. Oh, Desi. That's law.
Okay, now we turned into the Dirty Conversation podcast.
Whoa. Pause.
This is a whole new topic. After Dark with Cola and P.
Oh shit.
Man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
That's like putting a little seasoning on it. You got a little circumcised season. I ain't got that season. I'm sorry. You got that shit. I'm cool. And the live ends there. That you are correct. You are correct. That's it. Pause. Pause before we get canceled. You are 1,000%.
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for that one either.
So you was like, hold on. That's why I was like, let me close my screen.
Woo! All right.
Oh yeah, that was a good ending.
Episode.
That was a good ending. So we definitely taking Thanksgiving off.
Yeah, we taking Thanksgiving off. And we're gonna let y'all simmer on the uncircumcised seasoning.
Oh wow. All right. Well, thank you for joining, all of you. Thanks the people who joined and shared their story and their vulnerabilities. Thank you, Doc P, for always being available for the calls. We definitely, like I said, committed to this as long as people need it, because 2 years ago, you never could have told me that I would be helping people the way we are. And even people see me and say, I went to Doc P because I saw you. Or
What
I
tell you when you first came in? What I say?
You did, but I was so scared. Okay, so when I first came, you definitely said that would I be willing to share my story because it was going to change people's life. But I was so worried about my fear at that moment. So I heard you, but I wasn't hearing you. Like, I was like, yeah, he thinks so. Nobody's going to care about my story. Because a lot of times people don't care about us Black women, what we going through. But man, it was overwhelming, the response. And that's why I said, if you would have told me, well, you did tell me, but if I would have actually listened, I had no idea this would be our path. That's why I said it was supposed to be you for a whole bunch of reasons. And they just keep manifesting themselves the more and more we do this.
Facts.
Because, like I said, I get people that recognize me and they say, you Dr. P's patient. I'll be like, I got a name.
Yeah, name like shit. I said, my name's on
That's
here.
what I said. I have a name, but no, it's cool. I'll be Doc P's patient any day because, like I said, the P-Hive is real. But yeah, he'll save this live. I'll record it and also put it on YouTube. So if you have a friend that you need to share it with that doesn't have social media, we definitely want to always share free game as much as possible. And like I said, as long as people need it, we'll be here to do this. So
as you all see, if you scroll back through, you'll see like all patients in here. I think I've seen at least like 15 of my patients that are in here that have had surgeries or scheduled for surgery or whatever. So if you're in here and you need like she just support him no matter what. She ain't telling the truth. Like, you got all type of people in here that are super cool that will be cool. There's another one.
Yep.
So like they will talk to you. You can DM and just answer questions and do all of that stuff. So
yeah, I am not the only one. I'm not the face of the Fibroid Slayer. I just happen to be a chat bot sometimes, so I get it, But yes, I'm more than happy to answer questions or direct you to others that may have a different situation than me, because I just have one story, but there's plenty of us that have variations to.
And there go Crystal living her best life out there. So,
yes. Yeah. I'm telling you, we all living our best life. You getting we get one. Butterfly said, you getting the South Suburbs snatched. Oh, Renita says, what about the group?
I'm working on it. So I just sent out like my first like e-blast like with all of the patients in there, but I need to work on the actual group of like all my patients so you guys can have like a forum and grow that forum. But I just need to figure out what platform to put that on, because I don't know how to do that. Facebook is like, might do that, but like everybody don't check Facebook like that. Instagram really, for the most part, people do that more so, but I need to figure out like what platform to do that on. I will be happy to. You said Slack? All right, Renita, we'll get that started. You gonna
say Facebook, surprisingly, the groups still be popping.
They do? Well, I need to.
Maybe people may not look at they be in their regular feeds, but like the definitely the groups. I get invited to like 3 different groups a day.
TikTok too?
Well, TikTok is that's a whole new ball.
Man,
TikTok is a little they on the other
yeah,
side.
them trolls coming, man.
That
TikTok not a real
that
place.
audience is next level.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, I mean, I could do it. I will take all. And if anybody again wants to help with this whole social media thing and help me manage it and help manage like this whole like fibroid slayer group of like patients and stuff and interests and people that need to get information or whatever, I think it would be pretty big. Somebody wants to help me get that started.
Yeah,
let
get a
me know.
podcast. People ask me that all the time. Like, why don't y'all have a podcast? People ask me that all the time.
Yeah,
I don't know podcast 101.
I do. It takes a lot of work.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
this is our podcast. I think
exactly. Free
it's
game.
it's free game. It's free game. It's right here. Boom, bang.
Right.
All right,
So,
all
all
right,
right.
everybody. So again, until we do it again, I guess we'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be probably
Early.
December-ish now because we at the end of the
Yeah,
month
early.
now. Almost at the end of the month.
Cool. All right, everybody. Hope it helps. Talk to y'all later. Be blessed. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Hope this helps you. I will be putting this on a post on my page so you can reference it, share it, all of the above.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Have a good time. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody.